Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for being here. My name's Carlina, I'm new here as well. Today I wanted to share with you my everyday, no makeup sort of look. I'm wearing it right now. As you can see, it's kind of more of a kind of natural, dewy looking skin. I do have false lashes on, which I'd like to show you a technique of how to apply those. This probably took about 10 to 15 minutes to do. I love this. It's my go-to because I find it works really well with any lip color, even a bold lip. Can totally turn this into a really glam, kind of modern red carpet sort of a look. But anyways, I'm going nowhere today, so this is it. If you're interested in how I achieve this look with the skin, as well as the lash look and these fluffy brows, keep watching. So I like to start with a makeup wipe, as I find cleansing twice a day to be a little bit too harsh on my skin. But I like to apply my daytime skincare on clean skin. So I find wipes super convenient for that, and they feel nice and fresh. These guys I just got off Amazon. I can't remember what they're called, but just use whatever feels good with your skin type. Going in next here with my tea tree water from Lush. And this guy here is the Mineral 89 Eye Serum by Vichy. It's really nice and light, and I find it just kind of gives the hydration that my skin needs, and it's really nice for kind of smoothing everything out and depuffing the eye area. Gonna go in here next with my Biotherm Aqua Pure Serum. I'm sorry it's backwards here. I've figured out now how to record properly. It'll be corrected in my next video. Anyways, this product is a serum that contains the Biotherm Life Plankton as well as salicylic acid. So it's really, really moisturizing and healing to the skin, but the salicylic acid also is great if you're somewhat oily or acne prone. This guy here is Studio Moisture Cream from MAC. It is a moisturizing cream that is most ideal for a normal to dry skin. So it's kind of a little bit richer than I would typically reach for, but it smells so good. It's a nostalgic. Pat it in there. Don't forget your neck. Our neck will always show our age. Feeling good. Skin's looking nice and hydrated. So we're going to go in here next with the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula. I absolutely love this product. I'm actually going to use this on my eye area at the moment. I'm using a really old 224 brush from MAC. And I'm just going to dust that in my natural crease area. Just back and forth like a windshield wiper, nothing super fancy. I find in the end result you don't really see this very much, but it kind of makes a difference in making the eyes pop. As you can see, it just kind of naturally enhances the bone structure of the eye area without looking like too eyeshadowy. Like to use this trick a lot when I'm doing my no makeup because I find that like leaving the eyelid area bare, it looks like you're actually not wearing makeup. The eyeshadow on the eyelid area is kind of the dead giveaway, whereas just applying that little subtle shade in the crease area kind of makes the eyes pop nicely, gives a more like sultry look to the eyes, but it's really actually like like natural when it blends into your bare skin. It's a trick I like to use quite a bit. It's just going back in there and blending. You can spend as much or as little time as you need in this step. It's pretty straightforward. So I'm gonna go in here next with my mascara. This is Lash Power by Clinique. I love this mascara. It has a teeny tiny little brush on it, which allows you to get right into the root of the lashes. I find it's not clumpy. It just really does a great job of separating the lashes and holding them apart. It's a great smudge-proof formula, but it removes really easily with a standard makeup wipe or a cleanser. You don't need anything special like a bi-face cleanser to remove it, which is great. My eye area tends to be a little bit more on the oily side, so I find that I kind of need something waterproof, otherwise I look like a raccoon by the time it's like 3 o'clock. So I'm gonna go in here next and curl my lashes. This is a really important step. I'm using the Shiseido lash curler. I think I pinched myself. But as you can see, it really does a great job of like hugging the eye contour so that you can really get each and every lash. Big difference. Do the other side here. Makes a difference. I'm going to go in here next with my Ardell Demi-Wispies. I've already cut these to size. I'm going to show you this lash technique. I like to actually glue the outer edge lash, not above my natural lashes, but actually underneath the natural lashes. I find it just gives that little extra dimension, that little extra pop on the eye area, but because you're not gluing the lashes on top of the eyes, you actually can't see the lash band at all. So it looks like you've got either lash extensions or that you were just born with beautiful, thick, long lashes. So this does take a little bit of practice, but it's pretty easy to do. You just sort of hold the eyelash line up, place the lash, and just kind of flip it upwards, as you can see. It's actually pretty comfortable to wear your lashes this way. I always find I have trouble with the inner corner of the eyes lifting and poking. As you can see here, it just gives that little extra something. Gonna go in and add glue to the other side and hopefully do the same thing on the other lash. Here we go. Oh, oh, not quite. Oh, a little bit of glue on my fingers. I wanted to leave that part in even though it didn't go perfect, just to show that sometimes you have to troubleshoot a little bit, but it tends to always work out. That looks better. Awesome. We got it. Perfect. So you can see just that little enhancement on the outer corner of the eye area, but if I look downwards, you can't see where the lash band is. Pretty cool little trick. moving on to Complexion. I'm starting with the Touche Éclat Miracle Blur Primer by YSL. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get it to focus, and I do realize the writing is backwards. So yeah, I'm just going to go in with this primer here. It's pretty multi-purpose, but I tend to like to wear primer just sort of in my oilier areas or areas that need a little bit of extra smoothing. This primer feels so silky on the skin. It has kind of a nice silicone-y slip to it, and it does have tiny little gold like optical diffusers inside, which really makes the skin look super, super smooth. You really only need a little bit. So I like to kind of massage and tap that into the skin on areas that need a little bit of extra smoothness. That includes my chin area. Just pressing it in. And you'll see that anything that's left over on my fingertips, I kind of massage it into my fingertips and then tap it into the eye area. I never like to use too much product in my eye area, as like with fine lines and things, everything tends to collect. But I find just whatever's left over on your fingertips around the eyes, that's a really, really good tip to make sure your concealer goes on nice and smooth. This is the Beige Cushion Foundation by Chanel. I use it in the shade 40. I absolutely love this foundation. You'll see here it's really, really sheer coverage, kind of like a second skin. It has a super, super natural kind of radiant look to it. Although it's quite lightweight, the coverage is really, really buildable. I find that it just kind of enhances and perfects natural skin. As you can see, that side's got it. Looks much smoother, but still very natural compared to the other side. That side still needs some help. Going to go and do the other side there. As you can see, I've got a little bit more blemishes on that side of the face, so I might need to build it up a little bit more. You can see I'm using more of a pouncing motion with my applicator. That's going to deliver a little bit more coverage while still maintaining the natural look of the foundation. This particular formula is really, really hydrating. It has a super fresh, like a white peach scent to it as well. So it's really, really nice to apply to the skin. It doesn't feel heavy at all. Perfect. So just doing some final touches. Always good to be picky. So moving on, we're going to go add some concealer. For me, my problem areas are the bags under my eyes, the odd blemish kind of around my nose. I'm using the Estee Lauder Double Wear Concealer. I really like this formula. It gives nice full coverage, but because it's a liquid, it doesn't look heavy on the skin at all. Like to focus this kind of more on the inner corner of my eye, just kind of pressing it into the skin with a beauty blender. Never have to be in a rush with this particular formula of concealer. I find that you can kind of almost let the product dry before you press it into the skin, and that's a really great trick to give more of like a full coverage effect without having to layer a whole bunch of product underneath the eyes. As I mentioned before, I definitely have fine lines around my eye area where product tends to collect, so I tend to really, really like to be mindful about how much product I'm putting around the eyes. Gosh, that concealer works wonders.
looking much better. What a difference. So we're going to go in here next with just a tiny little bit of powder. Like to do just a little bit on the inner corner of the eye. Like to avoid the outer corner of the eye because of, once again, those expression lines. Just a tiny little bit just to set the areas where I've applied concealer. My T-zone area tends to be kind of my oily problem area, so I generally like a more natural, radiant look to my skin, but I like my forehead, nose, chin area to still remain kind of more on the matte side. Keeps the makeup looking glowy, not sweaty or oily. The product I'm using is just a really affordable mineral-based translucent powder. Beauty blender once again. This time it's just dry, no product on it. I just like to go in on the areas where my makeup tends to collect. So around the mouth, in my smile lines, those number 11s above my brows, and kind of around the nose area. Again, just minimizing excess product. That's going to make the makeup look unnatural. I want to look as skin-like as possible. This product here is by Becca. It's the Champagne Pop Powder Highlight. This product was really expensive, but it was really, really highly reviewed, and it is absolutely beautiful. Wow, look at that shine. The problem is that I don't really have anywhere to go that necessitates such a bright, beautiful highlight. My days of nightclubs are long, long gone. But yeah, you could totally go out dancing with a highlight like this. Anyways, I really, really hate wasting makeup here. So as you can see, I'm applying the Chanel Le Beige cushion on top of that highlight, which is a little bit intense. But as you can see, as I press that sheer foundation on top of that really intense highlight, what happens is that highlight actually kind of shines through the foundation there, and it just looks like your skin is just lit up from underneath. I really, really like that effect. It's really, really effective, as you can see. You can definitely see that cheekbone popping, but it doesn't look like a highlighting powder. So that's one of my best tricks to use. I'm sure I'm not the first person to do that, but I just really, really, really love it. Allows me to use things that maybe I would have thrown away otherwise. So going in here next with, once again, my Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula. I don't do a lot of contouring, but I definitely am kind of self-conscious about my jawline area. I wish it was stronger. So I definitely do some contouring under the chin, as you can see, just kind of wrapped around the rest of my jawline area. I find, as you can see, it just kind of gives me a little bit more shape, but still kind of looks natural. Just want to make sure that we blend everything down so that there's no harsh lines and that we can't see that we have drawn on our jawline. I will add just a tiny little bit kind of underneath the highest part of my cheekbone, just to kind of offset the look of that highlight, just so that the cheek looks a little bit more slim and defined. It's always a good idea as well when you're applying a contour like that to still apply a little bit of contour, bronzer, maybe the top part of the forehead. I like to also do it on the bridge of my nose area, just so that you can see that contour color somewhere else on the skin. It just makes it look more cohesive and well blended, and most importantly, more natural. So next is our NARS blush in the shade Madly. It's the most perfect, neutral, kind of peachy bronze color. It's got just the right amount of sheen. To be honest, when you see it just in the package, it really doesn't do it justice. It doesn't look like anything special, but I find it to be just the most perfect neutral colored blush. It looks great with these sort of natural, no makeup makeups, and when I really want to do a more dramatic, I guess, look, maybe for evening or whatever it may be, I find it looks good with absolutely every makeup look. So I'm just spraying here a little bit of the Lush tea tree water once again on that same beauty blender and just pouncing it into the areas where my highlight is. So you can see it really kind of helps to melt the product into the skin. So once again, it just looks like your skin is absolutely glowing and perfect. Yeah, we like that. So going in next with the NYX Micro Brow Pencil, the shade I use is Ash Brown. This pencil I find is really, really nice. It's retractable, so you don't need a sharpener. The lead is nice and firm, so I find it gives a really, really natural hair-like looking stroke. You can also, really carve out your brows with something like this if that's the sort of effect that you like. The pencil is nice and fine, so you get lots of control over the application. My personal preference tends to be a little bit more definition around the outer corner area from the arch outwards to a kind of softer, fluffier, inner brow. I never like to round that or square that out too much. I find it looks very obvious otherwise. Just gonna hopefully make this second side look the same as the first. You can see that I don't actually put pencil through the entire brow. I tend to just sort of focus it on areas that are a little bit more sparse, that need some help. More than anything, I'm just trying to balance and go for symmetry here with my brows. I want them to still look natural and fluffy. It's looking pretty good. To set my brows, I'm going in with a glycerin soap. You've definitely seen this technique online, these soap brows. My soap is over a year old. It's seen better days. Don't judge me. So I'm just wetting the other end of my brow pencil, that spoolie in there. I'm gonna rub it onto the glycerin soap just till I get the consistency that I'm looking for. You don't want it too wet, just enough to almost make a paste. And then I'll go in and comb my brows up. As you can see, this product gives a lot more hold, I find, than traditional brow gels that I've tried, which I really like. I've really enjoyed the look of like a really fluffy, brushed up brow these days. But if you have kind of more unruly brow hairs or coarse brow hairs that like to stick out, you can use this as well to kind of comb them down or comb them up, whichever direction you want them to go. This is pretty invisible in the brows if you get the right ratio of soap to water. And as you can see, it dries and sets, and it's really, really long lasting. Not to mention, it's really affordable. You can see as well, I'm showing here that you can't see the lashes that I have on. It's nice fluffy lashes, fluffy brows. Doesn't get any better than that. So we're gonna go in here next, once again, with the Clinique Lash Power Mascara. I'm brushing off any excess before I go in and just do it, I guess, really light coat on my lower lashes. You'll notice that the little brush allows me to get right to the root of the lashes, and I tend to do this more like kind of wiggly motion at the base of the lash before I pull through. I find that works really, really well with this particular mascara. And as you can see, it's not clumpy at all. It just kind of coats the lashes like it's supposed to. And again, I just absolutely love this formula. I'd really, really highly recommend it. Oh, I got a little spot on my nose. That's okay, accidents happen. We're gonna leave that spot there. Let it dry, because I'll show you a little trick with it later. Here we are again. We're gonna let that boo-boo dry. Gonna go in with my Milani Color Statement lip liner. This is my holy grail lip pencil. The shade is 04. It's called All Natural. And I find it's like the most perfect. Oh, there's my dog. The most perfect natural lip shade. It's much like my natural lips, but just a little bit better. I find it just kind of defines the edge and the border of my lip area, so it just looks more tidy. And yes, I'm guilty of overdrawing my lips quite a bit. Perfect. I'm gonna go in here next with the Laneige sleeping mask for lips. Oh, I love this product. I guess it's designed to be used as a treatment on your lips to sleep in, but I wear this 24 hours a day. It feels incredible on the lips. It makes your lips so soft and supple. It doesn't technically have any color in it whatsoever, but as you can see, it just does such a nice job of enhancing your natural lip color and just making them look hydrated and pretty. This stuff smells like bubble gum. It's absolutely delicious. Going back to my little mascara boo-boo, once it's dry, you can actually just flake it off with a dry spoolie. And of course, this always works, except when I'm filming myself. Okay, so it didn't work that time. That's okay. We'll try one more trick. I'm gonna go in here with the Touche Claw Blur Primer once again from YSL. It's totally colorless, so in theory, it should just kind of go on and pick up that dried mascara like nothing happened, but again, it's not working. So by default, we're going in with our Beauty Blender, which can also work as a giant eraser. That'll have to do for today. We're gonna go in here next with a little bit more highlight. If you'd like to make your bone structure pop a little bit more, I'm gonna go in here with the MAC Cream Color Base in Pearl. And I just use my fingertips to apply it to my brow bone area and probably just a little bit on the very top high point of my cheekbone. I really love to use my fingertips to apply this. It's nice and creamy, very hydrating on the skin, but it almost like warms up with your body temperature on your fingertips so that it makes the product really, really easy to blend into the skin. As you can see, it really, really pops, but it looks super natural. I like to apply a little bit above the brow as well. I find it gives a nice, like really fresh, lifted look to the eye area. And also just a tiny little bit on the very top of the cheekbone there, just to kind of tie everything in together. This is such a nice multi-purpose product that you can use in so many ways. A little bit on the inner corner, I guess, of the eye too, just so that it pops the eye. So everything's looking just about done there. Hope you enjoyed. On a side note here, I mentioned in the beginning of the video that just changing the lip color would totally change the look of this makeup. I haven't done anything else, but I just want to show it to you with a bold lip color. I'm going to be using the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in Amsterdam. This is the only red that I ever wear. Please pardon my application is a little bit messy. I'm going in here with no lip liner, which is always dangerous. Oh, that color is so gorgeous. It's like the most perfect kind of like coral red. It's nice in the winter. It's nice in the summertime. And it sets to a really beautiful matte finish that's not drying. You can see the color's quite vivid, but if you were to remove some excess from the brush, it'll go on looking really soft, almost like a stain on the lips. My application went a little bit rogue there, sorry about that. But as you can see, it totally changes the look of the makeup there. You almost wouldn't know I was wearing sweatpants.